Welcome to part 5 of my Linux tutorial series. This episode is going to be an introduction to ML or machine learning, and we're going to we're not going to so much build a neural net or anything like that. We're just going to run the old Google Deepdream Python a Python implementation of Deepdream. So Deepdream is like an image processing script that it was quite popular back in the day, but these scripts are quite old. These 9 years old, from 2015, and it's basically an early example of what machine learning can achieve, or an application of machine learning. So I'm calling this an introduction to ML because a lot of the things that we're going to be doing in this episode are going to be very similar to what ML engineers do when they're setting up their tools. So Google Deepdream is using an old deep learning framework called Caffe. So what we need to do is install Caffe, and that's going to be the main dependency, and it's also going to utilize Google Protobuf, a library that is used for Caffe model manipulation. So I'm going to be relying heavily on guides. So I've got two guides here. I've got this Q engineering guide, which will run us through the installation of Caffe, and for the actual script itself, I'll be utilizing this script from a blog post from alanzacconi.com, where back in 9 years ago, he managed to get a build going. And he's got a guide here, but this is outdated. So another thing I want to note is I tried doing this on Ubuntu 24, and there's some weird things going on with the package managers. So what I've decided to do is reinstall Ubuntu 20.04, and I did run a quick update using this Ubuntu software application. So yeah, hopefully if all goes well, we should be able to run some deep dreams. So we're going to start with Caffe here on this Q engineering website. I'll put the link in the description. So install OpenCV. So OpenCV is a dependency for Caffe. So we need this OpenCV on Ubuntu 20.04. That's what we're running for Python 3. So one thing I will note, this script here is for Python 2.7, but I will show you what I've done to get this script to work. So let's get into it. So I'm going to open up a terminal. We'll run sudo apt get update. Grade. So basically what I'm going to do is install the dependencies for OpenCV. So basically, if you're following along, I'm essentially just going to run all these commands line by line, starting with this one at the top, and they should all install successfully. I did do a trial run earlier today. So yeah, I might pause the video here, and once I've run all these dependency installations, I'll return. Okay, I've just gotten to the bottom of the block of this commands. So with cd back to home. So this process is really reinforcing what we learned in the previous episode, which is building software. So essentially, we've set up the environment to build this OpenCV software from its from source. So we're up to this block of code now, a block of commands. And I'm going to follow them step by step, even though I have already CD'd back to home. And we're going to pull down the zip folder, the OpenCV zip folder. And I'll pause the video and wait for it to download. Okay, that's finished downloading. We'll download the next zip folder. I'll pause the video and return after it's finished downloading. Okay, that's finished downloading. I'm gonna unzip them. Unzip the other one. And we're gonna move some files around to get and create some files to get ready for the build. So we'll do that. Can just type these in. Being built. Change directory. We just made. Okay, so the next step. I won't be utilizing CUDA for this tutorial, but if you, I know CUDA does speed things up a lot. So when we run our build command, it's given us a lot of flags here, and we're going to do it without CUDA. And we're going to just copy this whole chunk of commands, paste it straight into the terminal. All right. This is where the fun begins. So essentially, we're running CMake, and I'm not too sure if this is actually making a executable. I think we do that later on. It's just sort of guessing it's just making a preliminary build. So this is a lot different to what we did with the Phantom blockchain. I think this is actually building C++ code rather than Go. So I will pause the video after this process is finished. Sorry, I meant return after this process is finished. Oh, well, it's finished. So we've got an output that looks very similar to what we have here. So it's looking good. So we're going to run the make. So this is the actual compilation process. So we'll paste this in and enter. And here we go. This is it. This is building C objects. CXX, potentially that's C++, or we might see some CPP objects. Like it's running well. So I will pause here and return after this process is finished. Okay. We've managed to do a complete build. So after that, we're gonna do and we just so that concludes building CV from source. I might have to cut this episode up into parts. YouTube doesn't like lengthy videos. I don't know if it's like a premium thing or whatever, but yeah, I'll end the video here and I'll create a new part. I'll return in part 2 of an introduction to ML. See you in the next part.